Leo, something powerful is coming your way. Not someday. Not in the distant future. But soon. And it's not just money. It's something that's been waiting for you in silence, in mystery, and now, it's time. You're not just about to receive an inheritance. You're about to be recognized. Because this is no ordinary windfall. This is a sacred reward that has your name written on it spiritually, energetically, perhaps even legally. Now, you might be wondering, how can I know that? Well, let me ask you this. Have you been seeing repeating numbers like 888 or 1111 lately? Waking up feeling different, for no clear reason? Having dreams about keys, doors, or even unfamiliar people handing you papers or looking at you like they know something? If any of that feels familiar, even just one detail, then this message isn't reaching you by accident. It's calling to you. Loud and clear. You see, timing is everything. And Leo, the energy around you right now is rare. The kind of rare that astrologers wait years to see. The sun, your ruling force, is aligning with Jupiter, the planet of expansion and fortune. Venus is activating your 8th house, inheritance, legacy, and deep transformation. In the tarot, the Ace of Pentacles, the Hierophant, and the Tower all came up. All signs point to one undeniable truth: you're being chosen for something bigger than money. You're being entrusted with responsibility. With purpose. With divine timing. And that's where things get real. Because this kind of shift, it doesn't just knock on your door. It shakes the ground beneath your feet, opens spiritual contracts that have been sealed for lifetimes, and pushes you to step forward not as who you were, but as who you were meant to be. So I want to take a moment here to say this: thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up for yourself, for your journey, for this moment. Every comment you leave, every time you engage, every subscription you choose, you're not just supporting this channel, you're aligning yourself with a community that sees you, that believes in your light, that honors the quiet strength you've carried for far too long. Now, I have to tell you, what the universe is about to show you in this video is nothing short of incredible. And I don't want you to miss it. So stay with me. Keep your heart open. Because something life-changing is about to be revealed. And if deep down, something in you knows this message was meant for you, I invite you, not for me, but for you, to comment below: I am ready to receive what has always belonged to me. It's not just a comment. It's your declaration. And sometimes, that's all the universe needs. Let's go deeper. What's coming next might just change everything. Leo, if you're still here, it's not by chance, and I say that not from habit, but from having seen this pattern too many times to call it coincidence. There's a kind of rhythm the universe plays, and whether you know it or not, your soul has been dancing to it quietly, faithfully, for years. Right now, that rhythm is picking up. Something is aligning, not just out there in the sky, but deep inside you too. This month's astrology carries a very specific message for you. The sun, which rules your sign, is forming a harmonious trine with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, luck, and divine opportunity. That alone is powerful. It's like the lights finally turn green at every intersection you've been waiting at, sometimes for months, sometimes for entire seasons of your life. But what makes it deeper is that this isn't just about forward movement, it's about meaningful movement. The kind that alters your course, not just your calendar. And then there's Venus soft, magnetic Venus sliding into your 8th house. If you're not familiar with the 8th house, think of it as the vault where legacies are stored. Not just money or property, but emotional inheritances, soul contracts, and life-altering truths that usually don't surface until the timing is just right. And Leo. That timing is now. Here's what's interesting. Often when Venus activates this house, we don't always see a gift come wrapped in a box or dropped into our bank account. Sometimes, it comes in the form of a signature on a document you never expected to receive. Other times, it arrives in a message from someone you thought had long forgotten you. And sometimes, it shows up in a moment of clarity, a release of fear, or the sudden lifting of a burden you didn't even realize you'd been carrying. This energy has depth. And I know, Leo, you have depth too. People often mistake your brightness for surface, but they don't see the weight you've held behind your smiles. That's why this alignment matters. It's not just the stars above aligning, it's your personal, invisible efforts finally meeting their divine return. Now, let's talk law of attraction, not as a trend or buzzword, but as an unshakable principle I've seen play out in countless lives, including my own. What you've poured out into the world, the kindness you've extended when no one noticed, the grace you gave others while quietly starving for it yourself, that doesn't disappear. Energy doesn't evaporate. It circles. And right now, it's circling back to you. This is the moment where spiritual cause meets physical effect. It's not a reward for being perfect. It's a return on investment for your consistency, your patience, your endurance. And just like seeds take time to grow in the soil before ever breaking the surface, what's coming now is the visible bloom of something you planted long ago, maybe even in silence. Numerology confirms this. Seeing the number 888 repeatedly? That's no glitch in the matrix. It's the universe speaking to your subconscious in a language older than words, a vibration of financial alignment, material balance, and prosperity that's been set in motion. And if 1111 has been chasing you on clocks, receipts, license plates, please, don't brush it off. That's an activation code. The door is open signal. The "this is your time" sign. If this resonates even slightly, I encourage you to write these numbers down. Track where you see them. They're not there to impress you, they're there to guide you. You are not lost, Leo. You're being led. Quietly. Precisely. And maybe, just maybe, you've spent so long surviving that you forgot what it feels like to be chosen. But this month, you're not just chosen. You're being called. Not out of desperation, but because your light has matured to the point where it's time to receive. And all you have to do now is say yes. So if any part of this feels like it was meant for you, if your heart is nodding even while your mind is trying to make sense of it, take a moment and comment below. I am ready to receive what belongs to me. Not as a wish, but as a truth you're finally willing to own. Let that be your step forward. The rest is already on its way. Sometimes in life, everything seems still on the outside, but something is shifting deeply within. That quiet stirring, the one you've been feeling lately, even if you can't put it into words, has a message. It's not anxiety, and it's not restlessness. It's a signal. A change has been set in motion. And the truth is, the signs have been trying to reach you for a while. When I pulled your cards, Leo, the message was immediate. No delays. No confusion. The Hierophant, the Ace of Pentacles, and the Tower all appearing together didn't show up like this without purpose. If you've been asking for clarity, for a sign, for confirmation that your waiting hasn't been in vain, this is it. The Hierophant is not just a symbol of tradition or authority. In your context, it feels more personal than that. It speaks of someone watching over your path, someone who once guided you or wanted to, even if they couldn't say the words out loud while they were here. It could be a grandparent, a mentor, or even someone you never met but whose energy is tied to your bloodline. Their influence is still present, shaping this moment for you. And what they're trying to hand you now is wisdom, protection, and perhaps even an opportunity that was once denied to them. Then we have the Ace of Pentacles. This card is often misunderstood. People think it's about getting money, but it's so much more. It's the first sprout in a garden that's been barren for too long. It's the tangible sign of spiritual alignment. When this card shows up, especially after the Hierophant, what it tells me is that a financial opportunity or inheritance, literal or symbolic, is arriving not just because you want it, but because you're ready for it. You've been preparing in the dark, watering seeds that no one else saw. And now, it's sprouting. Quietly. Strongly. But then comes the Tower. The one that usually makes people nervous. Let me say this clearly, this Tower is not here to destroy you. It's here to liberate you. The structures it breaks are the ones that were never meant to last, the beliefs that kept you small, the patterns that made you question your worth, the roles you've outgrown. This kind of sudden change can feel disorienting, yes. But if you're honest with yourself, haven't you felt the cracks for a while now? Haven't you sensed something needed to fall away so something better could come? And here's the thing. Your body already knows this shift is happening. You may have noticed moments where your hands get warm for no reason, or your chest feels like it's vibrating even when you're still. Tears might come when nothing is wrong. Or you might have dreams, vivid, strange dreams, of being handed keys, letters, or seeing familiar faces from the past. These aren't random. They're part of the communication you've been asking for, showing up in the language your soul understands best. It's easy to feel forgotten in this world. Especially when you've done everything right and still feel like nothing's moving. But what if you weren't forgotten? What if you were simply being saved for the right moment? What if the reason nothing happened until now is because the best things needed more time to align? That moment may be right now. So if you've been seeing the numbers 888, 1111, or even 29 over and over again in clocks, receipts, addresses, take note. These aren't coincidences. They're nudges. The universe saying, hey, I see you. Don't stop now. I want to invite you to do something simple but powerful. Write it down. Comment below if any of these signs have been showing up in your life. Not because I need to know, but because you need to acknowledge that the message has arrived. That you're no longer waiting to be chosen. You are chosen. And everything that's happening now is proof. Let yourself believe that. Just this once. Let it in. Let it grow. Sometimes the universe rewards us in ways that don't look like rewards at first glance. Not because it wants to confuse us, but because it's inviting us to see with deeper eyes, to recognize the difference between receiving money and receiving meaning. If you've been walking through life with the feeling that you've paid a price no one else could see, that you've carried weight in silence, then this message might land differently for you. Because what's coming isn't just financial, it's a kind of spiritual validation. Not from a person. From the universe itself. Imagine, just for a moment, being handed a platinum card, sleek, heavy, with your name engraved on it. But more than a symbol of access, it's a symbol of trust. Or picture yourself walking into a bank, not with fear or hesitation, but with the kind of quiet confidence that comes when you know something has shifted, not just in your account, but in your energy. This isn't about luxury. It's about liberation. And for some of you, this shift may come in the form of an official letter, a call from a lawyer, or a document placed into your hands by someone dressed sharply, speaking softly, telling you that your name is on something you never expected but somehow always knew was yours. What makes this moment different is its origin. This inheritance, or opportunity, or sudden breakthrough, it may come from someone you've never met. Perhaps a distant relative whose story was never told. Or someone who watched you from afar, who saw your heart when the world overlooked you. And in some cases, it may even be tied to karmic timing, energy that's finally matured into physical form. But let's go even deeper. What if the true gift isn't the money, the property, or the paperwork? What if the real inheritance is the chance to break the cycle? Because Leo, some families carry patterns like heavy coat scarcity, fear, self-sacrifice. And maybe you've worn that coat long enough. Maybe you were chosen, not just to receive, but to release. To be the one who doesn't just heal themselves, but who opens the gate for those who come next. And that doesn't happen through struggle alone. It happens when you allow yourself to believe that you are worthy of ease, that the abundance reaching for you is not a trick, not a test, but a turning point. So if this speaks to you, if something in you recognizes that this moment is different, ask yourself, what will I do with this gift? Not in terms of spending, but in terms of becoming. Who will I allow myself to be now that the weight is lifting? What will I build, protect, or create that couldn't exist when I was stuck in survival? These questions matter. Because money, when it comes as a spiritual return, isn't just for comfort. It's for impact. It's for clarity. It's for choosing with freedom rather than fear. And if you're reading this with your heart open, I believe you're already on your way there. So take a breath. Reflect on what receiving truly means to you. And when you're ready, write it down, not just for me, but for you. Share in the comments, here's what I'll do with this gift. That small act of declaration has more power than you think. It anchors your intention. It tells the universe, I'm not just hoping anymore, I'm participating. And sometimes, that's exactly the energy needed to unlock the next chapter. When the energy of a major shift is approaching, it's not always loud. In fact, it's usually the quiet that comes first. A subtle internal nudge, a restless pull to clear out your drawers or rearrange your schedule. You may not even know why you're doing it, you just feel like you need to make space. And that's exactly the point. Before any breakthrough comes, something within us begins to prepare, often in ways we can't explain yet. That's not just intuition. That's energetic intelligence at work. Now that we've spoken about what's coming, it's time to talk about how to meet it halfway. You don't need to chase abundance. You need to welcome it. Receiving is a skill, one that's often blocked by fear, clutter, emotional residue, or disbelief. So let's talk about what you can do, right now, to open the door fully. Start by stating it clearly. Write it somewhere visible. Speak it out loud. Whisper it to yourself when no one is listening. I am ready to receive what destiny has prepared for me. I am grateful and open to all that's coming. That one sentence is more than affirmation, it's alignment. Your energy responds to permission, and this is how you give it. But don't stop there. Physical action reinforces energetic intention. So take a look around your space. Is your room filled with things you no longer need? Old papers, clothes, memories that no longer resonate? Clearing them out is not just about cleaning, it's about creating space for something new to land. This may sound small, but energy needs room to move. And money, like all forms of abundance, flows best in clarity, not chaos. Then there's silence. I know, it's tempting to share good news when you feel it's coming. But right now, silence is sacred. This is a gestation period. Like a seed beneath the soil, the blessing needs time to root. Talking too soon can interrupt its formation. Hold it close to your heart for now. Let it take shape without needing external validation. You also need to care for the vessel, your body. Imagine you are preparing to hold a powerful current of wealth, opportunity, or recognition. That kind of frequency is intense. To hold it with grace, your physical body needs to be balanced. Hydrate well. Add magnesium-rich foods or supplements to support your nervous system. A simple B-complex can help you stay grounded as your frequency shifts. These aren't just health tips, theory tools to stabilize your field. Movement is medicine too. Gentle yoga. Stretching at sunrise. A 10-minute walk under the sun, even if you don't feel like it. These are ways to communicate to your body, we're safe now. We're moving into expansion. When your body believes it, your field relaxes, and that's when things start to flow. Most importantly, protect your peace. Avoid overstimulating your mind with news, arguments, or low-vibration content. If something drains your joy, step back. Your clarity is currency right now. And where your attention goes, your energy flows. You want that energy flowing toward your breakthrough, not into distractions. If you've already begun doing some of these things, trust that it's not random. You're preparing. You've already said yes in the subtle realm. Now you're anchoring that yes with action. And if this message feels like it was speaking directly to your inner world, I invite you to leave a mark, not just for me, but for you. Comment below, here's what I've done to prepare for what's coming. That small declaration creates a bridge. It tells the universe you're not just Hopinjiri participating. You're showing up. And that energy? It always gets met. When life starts to shift beneath your feet, it's easy to wonder which part of it will change first: your relationships, your work, your finances, or perhaps something deeper, like how you see yourself in the story you're living. The truth is, they're all connected. One current of change pulls on everything else. And right now, Leo, your life isn't just shifting, it's recalibrating. The universe isn't asking you to become someone else. It's inviting you to finally live as who you are, without apology, without pressure, without the need to keep proving your worth to a world that often forgets how rare your heart truly is. Let's talk about love. Not the romantic fantasy or the desperate search for the one, but the kind that arrives when you're no longer performing for it. You've spent enough time overcompensating, hiding your true softness behind strength, convincing others that you're fine even when you're not. The irony? The person truly meant for you doesn't need the version of you that's polished or guarded. They're waiting for the version that breathes freely, that cries when it needs to, that doesn't compete to be chosen. So allow yourself to stop striving. Let the love meant for you recognize you as you are. That's when connection becomes real and when healing begins. Now, let's be honest about work. If something about your career feels misaligned lately, you're not imagining it. Leo is not a sign built for small cages or silent offices. You were born to lead not from ego, but from a place of vision. If you've been shrinking yourself to fit into someone else's mold, now is the time to ask, am I still loyal to a path that no longer honors me? Sometimes the most courageous thing you can do isn't to push harder, it's to pause and redirect. The calling on your life isn't getting quieter. You're just being asked to listen in a new way. And yes, we need to talk about money, but not in the way you've been taught. This isn't about budgets or sacrifice. This is about your relationship with abundance. If you spend from fear, money becomes a mirror of lack. If you spend from gratitude, it becomes a river that returns. What if you stopped seeing money as something you lose and started seeing it as something that moves? What if every time you paid a bill, you whispered to yourself, "This is proof that I am trusted by the universe to hold and release energy"? That shift in mindset is where financial healing starts. It's not about controlling the outcome, it's about aligning with flow. And then there's your life path, your story, your direction, your reason for being. For too long, you've played supporting roles in other people's narratives. Now the spotlight is turning toward you, not because you demanded it, but because your season has arrived. This is not a moment for shrinking back. It's not a time for questioning whether you're ready. You're more than ready, you're overripe with potential. And you don't need to prove your brightness anymore. You only need to own it. There's a quote I hold close that says, "The world doesn't benefit from your hiding. It heals when you rise." Leo, you are no longer being asked to live behind the curtain. It's time to walk forward, not arrogantly, not fearfully, but fully, knowing that who you are is enough to lead, to love, to create, and to prosper. So I invite you to reflect gently but honestly. Where are you still playing small? Where have you accepted just enough, when your soul was designed for more? And if this message resonates, take a moment to speak it out loud, or even share it in the comments. I am stepping into who I truly am. That declaration, simple as it may seem, is how your energy begins to rewrite the next chapter of your life. And that chapter? It's already waiting with open arms. If you've made it to this point, Leo, I want you to take a breath and know that you didn't arrive here by accident. Something inside you, may be quiet, maybe persistent, has been guiding you to this exact moment. And maybe now you finally understand why. Everything we've talked about isn't a dream. It's not a fantasy or a nice idea to make you feel better. It's a message grounded in cosmic truth, backed by the movement of the planets, the alignment of energy, and the invisible threads that have been pulling you towards something greater all along. And that something is not just about money or opportunity. It's about truth, your truth. The truth of who you are when no one is watching. The truth of the seeds you planted in silence, the compassion you gave when no one said thank you, the strength you carried through seasons of not knowing how things would turn out. The universe saw it all. And now, it's responding. So maybe the question you've whispered late at night, why me, finally has an answer. Because you were never random. You were never overlooked. You were being reserved for something sacred. You are the one strong enough, humble enough, open enough to carry this blessing without losing who you are in the process. And that matters. What happens next is not just about watching life unfold. It's about choosing how to walk with what you've received. Will you trust yourself to hold this gift with grace? Will you let go of the fear that says, I don't deserve this, and instead ask, what will I do with it? Because you do deserve it. Not because you're perfect, but because you've shown up again and again, even when it was hard. So here's what I'd love for you to do. If this message has resonated with your heart, if something in you feels seen, affirmed, maybe even a little emotional, then don't let it pass you by. Anchor it. Declare it. In the comments below, write, I receive this gift from the universe with a grateful heart. Say it not for me, but for you. That one sentence can shift energy more than you know. And if you haven't yet, please take a moment to like this video and subscribe to Eternal Mindfulness. Your presence here helps us continue to share these messages with others who need them just like you did. And before you go, I want you to hold this close. You are not forgotten. You were never out of alignment. You were simply being held for this moment. And now that it's here, you get to choose what to do with it. So I'll ask you, gently but clearly, what are you going to do with this light? With this wealth? With this freedom that's finally knocking? What will you build, offer, create, or become? The door is open, Leo. Walk through it. We'll be right here with you.